Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Maddles. This is the Foreign Hope Open Qualifier. We're going in to map number 3 of the final series. The last spot up on the line. And it's going to be either one of these two players. It's tied 1-1 at the moment and spawning to the top left of merry-go-round. It is the RedZerg playing for Team Acer. None other than Bly. And his opponent down in the lower left, the blue Terran player representing E-Stars, it's Botvinnik. So, game number 3. Game 1 went in Botvinnik's favour. Game 2, Bly got very aggressive and was able to level this back out. Who knows what is going to be happening in game number 3? I, for one, don't. At least not yet. They need to do something more than just make workers to really be able to make any kind of good prediction. I can make a stab in the dark. The Bly may get a little bit more aggressive again. He has shown a bit of a preference for doing that. Botvinnik may go for the Reaper into the early factory. He has shown a bit of a preference for that as well. So both players obviously do have their previous experience. The important thing to remember is even though it's tied 1-1 in a best of 5, it doesn't make it a best of 3. And I sounded a bit angry there. And the reason I did is because best of 3 doesn't have 2 games prior to it for them to draw conclusions from. If you're going into game 1 of a best of 3, you don't sit there and go, well, the last 2 games, Bly got really aggressive early, and Botvinnik was there with, obviously, the early factory and the 1 Reaper. You don't have that knowledge. You don't have that ticking through your head going, okay, well, what could they be doing now? Do you reckon they'll do the same build? So never think of game 3 of a 1-1 best of 5 as being effectively game 1 of a best of 3. It doesn't work like that. So, right on cue, as expected, we do have Botvinnik grabbing down that Reaper. Still mining nicely off of that 1 refinery, so just chilling wherever he can for the time being. We've got, obviously, the extract coming down from Bly, so he is actually getting down that early gas. It's similar to what he did in game number 2, but not in game number 1. So this could be a sign that he's hoping to get the early roaches out. The early roaches can be used defensively as well, remember, because against the Hellions and the Reapers, roaches is going to be fantastic. It's only really the Banshee, as we saw in game number 1, that can cause them a few problems. So right on cue, Botvinnik is grabbing in that reactor. He's going for his command center once again. Very similar build to what we've seen previously from the Terran. Meanwhile, Bly droning, and now grabbing just 6 lings. So he's going for the same build for the moment as we saw in game number 2. The Reaper, though, comes in, sees the fact that these lings are coming out. Now, this is an alteration from that second game. In the second game, Botvinnik didn't actually come out and scout for a long time with this Reaper, so I wasn't really aware of what quite was happening. The nice thing for Botvinnik would be if he could get over to this gas, just to get a cluck, and he does manage to get it. Sees the gas is mining, knows this could be a very similar build. He wants to see the spawning pool. Just managing to spot it, but I don't think he would have been able to see that speed had started from there. The Reaper, now frantically going to try and run away, of course, with combat drugs, is going to heal up quickly. So despite being on death's door, we'll be back to full health quicker than you can say the Terran's underpowered. And yeah, this is looking like a very normal time. Oh, nice pick off there by the Lings. Able to take down that Reaper. Causes a bit of a problem for Botvinnik. He's going to be forced to make a bunker at the front. Little bit of a misclick on that factory. Delays it moving over just slightly. In come the Lings. Gonna sneak on by. 4 Lings up against 2 Marines, one of which is nearly dead. Comes on up. Gets straight past that supply depot, actually. This is quickly becoming a slight annoyance. Actually, more than a slight annoyance. The Marine just manages to survive. That was really good control by Botvinnik, but it did mean that he wasted quite a bit of mining time with those SCVs, having to pull the lot of them. So, a couple more drops come down, these mules. Boosting it away. But yeah, Widow Mines on their way down. Everything looking nice and good here. What else can we see? Roach Warren on its way. Obviously these extractors just chilling here. So Bly going to be looking for a build similar to what he did in game number 1, where he went for the early roach speed, kind of play. Going to be very interesting to see how they decide to go for this. Starport is now getting switched on over. Tech Lab's there, so Banshee going to be on the cards. So just really a reply to game number 1, actually, in terms of what is going on. It's very similar, that road speed coming through, as well as the Banshees coming out from Botvinnik. And we all know how that ended. Still waiting to see where these go. Third? Oh, actually, third CC. On its way down. Does get scouted, as does the fact that there is a tech lab on the starport. So Banshee being seen, this is a great scout by Bly. He sees pretty much everything that is required. Very important times. First few roaches coming on through, the spore crawler's already getting started, but note also the third base from Bly coming down. So this puts Bly in a bit of a better position, apart from getting a minor amount of supply block right there, without any overlords in production. But what it does mean is that actually he's got this third base coming down a lot sooner than he did in game number 1. And one of the difficulties that Bly had in game number 1 was just that he was unable to ever reach a point where he was up a base on his opponent, sometimes even struggling to stay on equal bases. And that meant that he didn't have the economy to take it long term. Burrow and Tunneling Claws coming down, so these roaches are going to be used extensively in the composition of Bly by the looks of things. Bly also chilling with his third base out, adding in some more roaches. Just getting a good number of them down. The Banshee, the only Banshee on the map, is a long way away. There was a second one about to pop out, but that's not too scary. Up come these roaches now. They're going to go straight for that bunker. No SCVs are waiting to repair. The Marauders getting taken down. Bly is going to be dealing a lot of damage. The one Banshee is just chipping away at a couple of SCVs, but it's nothing too crazy. Supply depot does come up in time. Still, we come with these roaches. A couple of head-ins trying to deal damage where possible. Nice Widow Mine hit, gets a lot of splash off. But still, the roaches powering on forward. There's more resupplying as well. So that's going to be providing additional pressure at the natural base. Quite a lot of workers are going to be the target here. Just a couple of roaches there, chipping away. Most of the reinforcements getting killed. Overcome the reinforcing roaches now. And this is where the natural base starts to get besieged too. In terms of these Banshee, only one remains. The other one was killed across the map. And that's in itself a big loss for Botvinnik. Bly still applying this pressure. He's able to pick off 15 workers already, still resupplying with more roaches. Tunneling Claws is now done, remember. Allows him just to repair up these roaches very nicely. Picks off a couple of units. Secondly, look like they're about to die, just reburrows up. Has to do so far enough away from that missile turret though. That's the only trouble. In come the roaches though. Realizing the missile turret's there, they back away yet again. But there's just so many units here. I think Bly is going to be quite easy to do with this. He's chipping away at pretty much everything there is. A couple of Widow Mines doing everything possible trying to take this down, but I just doubt it's going to be enough. The SCV count plummeting at the moment. Well, there we have it. All of those SCVs getting taken down. GG. And Bly is able to take this third map to put himself one win away from that final spot.